Hello and welcome to the series of Prime program. I'm Edna Caroline, and today we have a short talk with several overseas guests who attend the Indo Defense exhibition. Here we already have a GICAN, Head of Business Internationalization and Export, Monsieur Arnaud Martins Da Torre from France. So how are you doing this morning?
Fine. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. So this is your last day.
Yes,
Okay. When you will going back to France?
tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay. I hope you enjoy Jakarta
Yes.
one day
Yeah.
more. So I would like to know that you're the head of business and
International. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
What is GICAN
Yes.
actually? Can you give us
Yes,
some brief?
So the GICAN is the French Marine Industry Association. We are a private association of companies, 250 companies that are in the civil and defense maritime sector. So we have shipyards, big shipyards like Chantier de l'Atlantique for cruise ship, naval group that are exhibiting here for submarines, surface vessels, and 8 or 9 other shipyards. We have the major group such as Thales, MBDA, Safran that are exhibiting here, and a lot of SMEs. Around 70% of our members are SMEs, and they are all subcontractor, equipment maker for ship, civil and defense ship and submarine.
So how many members you have?
250 members.
250 members, and 70% of them are the SMEs.
Yes.
So it's very interesting. I mean, what is the GICAN purpose?
Yes, the purpose is to support our members. We defend their interests with the French government at the European level and during international exhibition like this to promote the French technology in the naval sector. And we organize 2 exhibitions, Euronaval, you were at Euronaval. Euronaval is the world leading naval exhibition every 2 years. It was 2 weeks ago. And one civil exhibition that called Euro Maritime in Marseille. And we federate French pavilion on foreign defense exhibition. This is our counterpart, the GICAT, that federate the French pavilion here, but in the ASEAN region, we federate the French pavilion on Index in Singapore, on ADAS in the Philippines, on DSA in Malaysia.
So is this how many times already GICAN have a pavilion in Indo Defense?
We exhibit for the first time, but we have around 50 of our members that are exhibiting on the French pavilion and on their own booth and as visitors too. We have some of our members that are based in Indonesia and that come as visitor to meet their contact in Indonesia.
So it's already a long cooperation between Indonesia and France.
There is a long cooperation in the defense sector, mostly for land and aerospace, but in the naval sector, one of our shipyards, OCEA sold a vessel to the Indonesian Navy. And it seems that the Indonesian Navy is very happy of this vessel. And recently, Naval Group signed an agreement with PTPAL early this year. And during the show, there is another agreement with PTPAL regarding a submarine program. And then there is another announcement with Thales for the modernization of the Sigma in the Indonesian Navy for next year, more in the land sector. So there is a lot of cooperation and more cooperation to come. And For our SMEs, it's very important. The Indonesian market, both defense and civil, is very important. Indonesia is a maritime country like France.
Yeah.
There is a lot of shipyards. We met yesterday our counterpart, the Association of Shipbuilding, Indonesia Shipbuilding. There is a lot of shipyards, and I think there is some cooperation because our members are working for other shipyards, and especially with shipyards in Indonesia, the big one like Pitipal or Pitilan or other shipyards. So we try to identify some opportunities of cooperation between our companies and Indonesian companies.
So, in your opinion, there are large room of cooperation in the
Yes.
future, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but what is a requirement for Indonesia side? I mean, is there any, because this is only just the beginning, right? So, what do you think the Indonesia side should be more prepared in order to have a cooperation with France or even European shipyards or industries?
Yeah, I think that our shipyards are able to sold vessel to Indonesia, but the idea is to cooperate with the industrial base in Indonesia and to produce locally some equipment. I think there is a lot of segment. I think about hydrography, oceanography, maritime surveillance, where there is a lot of savoir-faire, the French technology, and some cooperation that are possible with Indonesia and France. We have a tradition, our companies, to invest in the country, to be based in the country, and if there is a need to have some equipment made in Indonesia, our company has experience to do this. Naval Group, for example, is building a submarine in Malaysia, in India, by Indian, in Brazil, and our SMEs are working on this project, and they are locally based in the country to cooperate with the local companies.
Yeah, I'm very interested about your story about the SME. How do the mechanism between SME and the major companies?
Company?
Yeah.
The Indonesian major company or the French?
No, in France. Yeah,
in France. Yeah, you are on a major program. The leader is the major company, and then there is all the supply chain that is working on the program. And this is quite the same when there is an export contract. You have a leader that could be the French company and the Indonesian company. And then there is a supply chain of French and local, in the case, Indonesian company, that have to cooperate. So sometimes they make some investment or joint venture to work together to produce parts in Indonesia and to be a supplier on the contract and sometimes on other contracts for other countries.
Is there any roles from GICAN in
Yes.
that SME?
Yes, because our major companies have a strong team. They are based in every countries. Our SMEs are more smaller. They have smaller team, and so we help them to support them when they have to meet some potential prospects and clients. I think about we arranged with the French Ministry of Interior the visit of the Bakamla in France during Naval to create some links, because there is not only the Indonesian Navy, there is Bakamla and other maritime administration, and so there is some. The Bakamla came to Naval. They meet around 10 French companies, big companies and SMEs. And now during the week, Bakamla and our SMEs follow on their discussion. And so we try to
connect.
create some connection, and then they do the business and interaction and cooperation.
How small is the SME in?
It depends. We have some SMEs that are with 10 people, and some of them are 100, 200 people. It depends. But some are very active at the international level, and we have, I think, in the ASEAN area, around 40 companies. 40, yes. So the big one, Airbus, Thales, Naval Group, but I think probably 30 medium and small companies that are based in Jakarta, in Singapore, in Malaysia, and they are working everywhere in the area.
Wow!
Because there is some opportunities and contract in India, in Indonesia, in Singapore, in Malaysia, and the Philippines. Now there is some.
Very interesting.
Yes.
I mean, is the SME is lots of young professional also?
Not necessary. It depends, but you could see on the French pavilion there is more young guy and women that are working in the defense sector and that are traveling a lot, and some of them are based here to develop the activities of the French company. And we have the support of the French public representatives, such as the French embassy, the DGA, that depends of the French armed forces. They visit, there is a delegation that visit the French pavilion, and they support our companies in the defense sector. And the embassy, more for the embassy and the economical services, more for civil activities. There is a partnership between France and Indonesia on the maritime sector, because there is a lot of things to do on the surveillance, pollution. We have some of our companies that are working to treat the pollution, the water pollution, the research for oceanography. There is a partnership between Indonesia and France on the maritime research too, and it's only civil. It's for civilian activities.
I'm very curious. I mean, I would like to ask your opinion. Why and what is behind, or maybe tips and tricks, so the maritime industry, especially the SMEs, can develop or can have a very strong roles in the whole of industry. What is the tips for especially SME?
Because we have a long history. We are a maritime country, like Indonesia. France have a maritime zone, the second largest maritime zone in the world, because we have some of our island and territories in the Indian Ocean, in the Atlantic Ocean, in the Caribbean, and in the Pacific. So there is a long tradition of maritime history. And so we work on the different vessels, civil and defense vessel, and all the equipment associated to the vessels. So we develop a savoir-faire.
So for example, like GICAN, how long is already?
GICAN itself is 15 years, but the Association of Shipbuilding is more than 100 years. A century, yes.
Okay, so it's very long.
It's very long, there is a real history of shipbuilding in France.
Okay. No wonder.
Yeah.
And maybe this is my last question. So what is your thought about this Indo Defense?
I think it was a very good edition. There is a lot of companies, Indonesian and foreign companies, some of our competitors, European competitors, namely Asian competitors, and but this is competitors, but some of our companies are working also for other shipyards, and that's the case for Indonesian shipyards. So it was a very good exhibition with a lot of high-ranking There is the Indonesian president, the Ministry of Defense, and other large delegation. Very interesting, and our members and the French exhibitors say it was very wonderful edition.
Okay. Thank you very much, Martin.
You're welcome.
So then that's wrap our talk with our guest from GICAN, France. And hopefully this exhibition will be only the beginning of more cooperation between two countries. Especially we can learn from France that their SME also have a very strong presence and business in the whole defense and also civilians ecosystem in maritime industry. So thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Martin. Merci beaucoup.
Je vous en prie.
And I'm Edna Caroline. Okay, see you in another Prime session. Thank you very much.